What's up, everybody? I'm Eric Hansen with Backpacking TV. I am here in the Wind River Range of Wyoming, and I'm about to set off on a 2 or 3 night adventure with my girlfriend Christy over there at our van and her dog Kovu here, who is panting and wanting me to throw the frisbee. We're gonna be rocking some new gear. I have the Hyperlite Mountain Gear 3400, Southwest 3400, which is a departure for me because that is a proper ultralight backpack. And nothing about anything else that I'm doing out here is ultralight. I've actually got this thing stuffed to the gills. Christy is now rocking the Women's Bridger, the 55-liter pack. So she's going to be able to get some information as to how that fares for women. A lot of people have been curious about how it feels for a woman's body because it has a really unique vest. If you want to see all that, all the new gear, we're wrecking out some new stuff as well, and just tag along on a sweet trip through the Wind River Range. Make sure you stick around for this very special episode here on Backpacking TV. All right, let's get after it. Boom! Well, it's day one. We are setting off for an adventure. We did just check in with a guy that came down the trail who gave us some information that gives us pause. He basically said, good luck to you. You're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, between mud and ice and very experienced hikers turning around at a certain point, we're like, well, okay, I guess we'll see what we find. Yeah. Hopefully we can get further, but I don't know.
You ready?
Oh yeah. I think Kovu's ready, so
Kovu's ready.
We should go because Kovu's just so ready.
Okay, Kovu, let's go. Well, we've gone just over a mile now, and the snow is definitely starting to accumulate on the sides of the trail. There's water everywhere. I just filled up my life straw, which is what I'm testing. One of the things, they just started making this water filter that's very similar to the Aidelles Be Free, which is new to me. I don't know if other people have used Life Straw's version, but so far it seems pretty cool. I wanted to ask you later, but so far, early thoughts on the backpack?
I love the backpack.
Yeah?
It's really comfortable. My previous one was a little small for me, and I can already feel the difference of a backpack that actually fits my long torso. I just love the size. Feels, the 55 liter feels like it, again, fits my torso really well. It distributes the weight really nicely on me because I'm tall and kind of, you know, I need to have that weight distributed nicely on my long torso.
Longer torso.
Yeah. So far I'm really loving it. I actually am barely noticing it. Feels good.
That's the sign of good gear, when you barely notice it. Oh, do you like your pack? Oh my goodness.
What is happening? Okay.
So I think we just found camp, and the view does not suck.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, so you want to see it? 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 So this is where we're going to make camp. And look at that behind me here. Oh my goodness. Holy shiitake mushrooms. So we just got some sunlight here, which is awesome because it's feeling now inviting. We got here kind of with a bunch of rain coming down, and that wasn't the most nice. But holy cow, look at this place that we are getting to perch at for the night. That's insane. So good, so good. Is Kovu pooping?
No, he's not. He's just sitting there.
We've got our tent right here on the edge. Now this would normally be a spot that's going to bring a lot of people to it. But because it's so early in the season, I think we're in the clear. I mentioned this earlier on the trail today. I'm rocking the new Life Straw water filter, and this thing has actually been really cool. I've really liked this. I'm familiar with Life Straw from their classic old straw that I have thought is pretty cool, especially for $20. This thing I think is 65 bucks, maybe 69. I'll check. There'll be a price check down below. But I really like it, and this is very similar to the Aidelles Be Free. However, some differences between these two are the more durable material, which is going to make it a little bit heavier. It is a little bit more durable material. I've seen the Aidelles have a lot of pinpricks and leaks and stuff like that. And then it has a faster flow rate, so it's easier to get water to move through that, through the actual filter. So I really like that. How did you get so comfortable?
It's like a perfect little...
Do you want to help me pack some stuff up back in the bear can? I'm worried that we're gonna lose our Skratch energy chews and our ramen and our MnMs.
What do we want to eat for dinner tonight?
I think I want to do the mac and cheese and the fresh Aidelles and all that.
Cool. Just go right around the outside.
Around the outside,
Around the outside. Get that tortilla around the outside.
We are going to request Eminem licensing rights for his song. All of this is going to be cooked on a Jetboil MnMs and our skillet here. And it does come with an attachment so that the skillet can fit on top. So a lot of people have been wondering where my Chef Corso meals have been, and because I have been doing just a lot of freeze-dried meals, which is also why I did that Jetboil video, because I have gotten a dependency on freeze-dried meals. But today, it's not exactly a Chef Corso recipe, it's actually one of my old ones, but I'm bringing it back, and it's going to be my fancy mac. So I've got some Aidelles sausage, habanero mango, chopped up, diced up in here. Also have some fresh garlic and fresh onion and some coconut oil. And that's gonna be delicious. And in here, I've got some sun-dried tomatoes. So all of that together with some Annie's mac and cheese, it's gonna be real good. Now it's time to cook it up. And so it's really efficient for boiling water, not so good for cooking. So now with the MnMs, I can actually adjust the heat and simmer. And this is the first meal I've ever cooked on a Jetboil that isn't really just like a boil and eat meal. So it's looking good so far. I'm running out of hands to do everything with. The light is looking amazing on the clouds. Christy's now taking over cooking processes because the light just got so good. And I'm trying my best to take it all in, enjoy the moment, cook dinner, and look at, it's just all so good. It's so good. And so much food for two people. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know.
Something that I truly love about backpacking, obviously, is getting to be at places like this. But if you're just day hiking, it's almost impossible, unless you do like 3 a.m. wake-up calls, to get out for views and vistas and sunrises and sunsets and watching the stars overhead in places like this. It is always so worth it to me, even though I didn't have the world's greatest sleep last night, to just be able to wake up in a spot like this. Now I get to drink this in. I guess I'll give my report on the top quilt from Outdoor Vitals. I was quite comfortable and I was plenty warm. Granted, it didn't get super cold last night. I think it got down into the low 40s, maybe the upper 30s, but it didn't get below freezing. So it really wasn't that cold. And so the 15-degree top quilt was plenty. And actually, one thing that I noticed was that above me, I could really feel the top quilt kind of radiating the heat back on me. It did an amazing job. Everything that was the top half above my sleeping pad was very comfortable. At about 3 in the morning or so, as kind of the colder part of the night set in, I did notice I could feel some of that cold just coming up through my air mattress, through my pad here. That was kind of new for me. I'm not normally used to that. This is, I think, a 3.8 or a 4.1 on the R value, the sleeping mattress. And so it's certainly pretty good. It's a good insulated mattress. And so to kind of feel some of that cold coming up through from the ground without it really being that cold it would give me pause to do this system in true 15, 20 sub-freezing temperatures. But amazingly, I was very comfortable. I didn't feel drafts coming up out of the sides, which was a big concern for me. It really stayed attached to my mattress really nicely. And even with me moving around, I do a lot of tossing and turning. And just in case anybody was curious, we did bring a whole extra sleeping bag for Kovo. So he kind of slept down at my feet here last night. We had this one down. This is actually a bag that has become a favorite of mine, but it's the Big Agnes 3-in-1 Ranger. So it's a really nice, it is a very nice dog bed. And then the report on this bag from Christy was that it was so warm that she had to open it up throughout the night to cool off a little bit. So that's kind of what I expected and hoped for, being that she was in a 10-degree rated bag when it really was not nearly that cold. So we were all happy, we were all comfortable, and we've woken up and it's gorgeous out here, making breakfast, making coffee, watching the sunrise. Shortly we're gonna pack up camp and hit the trail. So it's been great so far. Everything we could have asked for and more. So one of the things that's been really helpful for me in my trekking is I started using this Zoleo satellite communicator. And it's not just about sending messages out or calling SOS, because I can actually check the weather report. And so this is for the nearest reporting station. And what I'm seeing is that tomorrow and the next day actually look quite not so nice. We got a ½ inch of rain in the forecast tomorrow. And today I can see that it's gonna turn quite windy. And this evening we're gonna get a good bit of rain as well. So with the early season conditions, the fact that we're backpacking with a dog and just not really wanting to hunker down for the next 48 hours inside of a tent and getting all muddy, I think we might be deciding to make our way back and calling the trip a little bit short, which, you know, it's a little bit disappointing. We were prepped for 3 nights and 4 days here in the backcountry, not knowing what we would find. Didn't know how far we could make it up at all, even if it was not even to make it 1 night. So I think this has already been an amazing success, getting to be here and see this fantastic spot all to ourselves. And it's gonna be an enjoyable hike out, and then we'll get back to our van right as the wind and rain really settles in. So it's time to pack up the rest of the way, hit the trail. All right, let's go.
Yesterday, but it's extra, and I can tell the snowpath next to it that we took yesterday might be a little slushy. Everything's changing.
Is this the song? I don't know the next line if it's a real song.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted us to sing together, but
okay.
You know, whatever.
Everything is changing.
Everything is changing.
Every day it's changing.
Every day it's changing. It's a trail musical. How do you feel about being a part of that?
It's fulfilling a lifelong dream of mine. So feel good about it.
It's cute.
So we're almost back to the trailhead now, and so I wanted to give some thoughts on the Hyperlite mountain gear Southwest 3400 pack that I've now been rocking now that we've gotten a couple days on the trail. And it's honestly been, one, I like it a lot, and I have some hesitations about using it again in the future. With as much weight as I typically do carry, especially adding in that I carry camera equipment, it's kind of a tough sell for me to really want to use this as my main backpack. Add in the fact that we're backpacking in bear country, and I have to backpack with a big bear canister that's bulky, it's heavy, doesn't really fit in a backpack nicely, and bear spray, and, you know, just some odds and ends that come with being in territory like this. It doesn't feel like quite the right backpack for me in this zone. I'm starting to really get some sore spots on my shoulders. That's where I really feel it, and I'm trying to do some different things, like have the pack sit differently and whatnot, so that it's just not as painful. And that's the biggest difference for me with a backpack like this versus what I'm more used to, which is granted like 3.5 pounds heavier, which is a lot for a lot of people, but it carries so nicely, and the weight to me is easy to carry, more weight with more comfort. So this, I'm carrying a little bit less weight, a lot less comfortably. But all things considered, I do actually like the Dyneema fabric, that waterproof fabric. Everything's kind of a waterproof bag, which I really like. So I definitely like some of the stuff. This is kind of new to me, to clip things onto the front, clipping water bottles and having the big stash pocket in the back. And they do a really good job of making a very lightweight backpack that is honestly super rugged and will hold up for a lot of people. So this is a great backpack for a lot of people, especially anybody who wants to carry less than 30 pounds of backpacking equipment. So those are my thoughts on the Hyperlite mountain gear. It's been cool to try out a new style of backpacking, a new style of backpack, and I'm gonna have to do it again, just not in bear country. A trip report wouldn't be complete without also talking about Christy's backpack, the Bridger 55 women's pack, that's been brand new for you.
Yeah.
So we will be doing a full gear review on this backpack, as well as the Hyperlite mountain gear backpack. So both of those will have their own separate videos. But while we're here backpacking, we thought it'd be good to give some kind of general thoughts. So kind of what has been your experience so far using a brand new backpack for you?
Yeah, I used to backpack in a much smaller framed pack. You know, I didn't really know my size yet, and we were just trying to figure it out. Figured out I needed one size up, and this is actually a bigger pack. The other one was a 40 liter
pack,
and this one's a 55. So what I love about it is that it distributes the weight much better on my long torso. Yeah. The other one was a little too compact for me, actually, where the 40 liters were literally just sitting on my lower back. And I love that it's distributed higher so that it's like, it's very long, like my back is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I love that. And it's actually carrying more weight, more gear, has felt way easier than even carrying the 40 liter.
I think that's kind of the main thing for me, is that we're going for more days, we're carrying more food, we're carrying more equipment, and yet you've been more comfortable on the trail with this. So, and it looks like it fits you.
I feel really good in it.
Like really nice, which you had said that you had kind of forgotten about the backpack, which that's the two things, that your footwear and your backpack you've forgotten about, which is amazing to be backpacking and to not be thinking about your gear and what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Also, how has it been with the running vest style strap?
Yeah, so a lot of women have had concerns about this double strap here. You know, normally you just have this upper one, but you don't have this one that goes across your chest. So I wanted to give it a shot too, to see how it actually would distribute the weight in the front, but also not squish the ladies.
Yeah.
So
I can't talk about this. So
no,
I don't know.
I can though, ladies.
Yeah.
Sorry, men, if you're watching this, whatever. But so, you know, some women who are larger chested are a little concerned about being too, you know, squished in here. And I am about, for the ladies' information, I'm around a CD.
Guys, get out of here. Fast forward. You're not allowed to listen to this part.
I am a CD. So, you know, anyone probably, you know, a little bit smaller or might feel more comfortable. I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
So, like at all. It's actually kind of nice, especially if you're wearing the right bra.
Yeah.
You know, the right padding, you're not too pushed up. It's just a nice pad in the front. This actually helps you feel almost more secure in that area, in my opinion. I don't know what it would be like with someone who is larger, but for me, I'm, again, being a CD, I don't notice it at all. So it's actually really nice to have this really off your shoulders and off your armpits and in this area. I have been a little annoyed with the upper part here.
Okay.
Just because with my other backpack, I didn't notice it. I set it down and I can open the top and nothing will spill out if I don't have it laying properly. But this one, I've had several times where I would set my pack down, I'd be trying to get a snack, or something, or get something out, and it would just like spill open. So that's my only real critique about that, is that for some reason the top, the way it zippers, feels a little awkward to me. I'll get used to it, but because it's a new backpack, so I'm not used to having to like think about that, but I do have to think about the way my pack is sitting when I open up the brain of the pack.
I'm super glad to see your thoughts on this, and I feel like this is the right backpack for you to move forward with. Okay, that I think wraps it up from us. Yeah. So we're like,
excuse me.
She's my belching beauty. We are about 2/10 of a mile towards, what am I trying to say? We are 2/10 of a mile away from getting back to the van, back to the trailhead. And it's been an amazing trip. It's been super fun. I'm really glad that we got out here. This has been a wonderful trip. This time of year, it's, there's still snow, a lot of mud, a lot of water on the trail, but it's been solitary. Like no crowds, almost no bugs, way less bugs than I was expecting.
Oh my gosh, I was afraid last year doing another section in this range. We were just bombarded with mosquitoes. So we didn't even use bug spray this time, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's been amazing.
So
that's the trip. I hope you liked it. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it that thumbs up and subscribe here on Backpacking TV. If you have any questions for me or Christy here about any of the gear that we've used, or any more details, especially you ladies, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out, and I can always be like, hey, we got a lady question, and we can get an answer for you. So that's it from us. We're gonna go eat some peanut butter M&Ms. We'll see you later.